this is gonna end up in like some blooper reels or something of our testing. If this is gonna work.
This is the unaired, the never to be aired pilot episode of our podcast. No one will ever see this. This is just for critique purposes.
This is basically what we do almost every night. We sit in this couch.
We sit in this couch and we watch TV. So now we're just going to sit and have microphones pointed at our mouths. But yeah, this is going to be the setup for our podcast.
Good.
Simply Made Fancy, the podcast.
Which is?
The Simply Made Fancy podcast.
This is the thing. It's about not being afraid, too, of doing something or trying something. Mm-hmm. Because that's kind of like, that's been my journey. It's just like, oh, I want to try that. I want to do it. And it comes out. And usually on a budget, too, because we don't got no money.
These chats are going to tie into either videos that we've done already or videos that we're going to do, or just life,
So this week, I can't remember what I was talking about on Instagram. I was talking about something. And somebody sent me a message and they're like, oh, keep going. I love listening to you talk about whatever subject. 'Cause it's like random. That's a thing. Like Simply Made Fancy is not a niche. Like people say, oh, find your niche, like your thing. Right. Like, like I follow people that do all cleaning and that's all they do. And people that do all cakes and that's all. And I love all that. But the thing is that I'm like all that.
Right.
Like I like to learn and explore and share in all those things. Yeah. That make up my Simply Made Fancy life. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Which is not super fancy. I don't. Like sometimes people get a little thrown off by that, but just elevating things, right? But not breaking.
Yeah, not breaking yourself or the bank. But being able to do things, be intentional about the things that you do.
And have a purpose, not just like here, go to a store and just.
And I think that's the niche. The niche is, here's things that you can do. Like one of the most viewed videos on the channel is when you made the boys' Christmas elf costumes. You had thought about it. The boys were having a Christmas thing in their school, or Logan was, and you was like, "Oh, and you made it." And then later on that night, you were like, "I'm gonna make another one. Let's do a video about it." Yeah. And like it was like literally like this late at night. Where I just started filming you. You look tired. You sounded tired, but you did it and you explained it, and it was not super difficult to make, And obviously, it struck a chord because a lot of people have seen that video.
And it was a simple. Like I'm not a person that sews. I'm not like. I just dabble.
And it was a simple thing.
And that's another thing. Like I hate, or I don't want to say that I hate because I don't hate anyone in particular, but I just dislike a lot of times, I follow people and I learn a lot of, I just don't get it. Like how they look all made up all the time to do their videos and do their things. I'm like, just doing my thing and I'm like, okay, the boys are sleeping. Let me just get this done. Like I don't have time to put on makeup. By the way, I wear very minimal makeup, so that's another thing. I don't like to cake anything on, and my kids think I look like a clown when I put any makeup. They tell me, "Mommy, no." Yeah, they don't like it, and Maurice doesn't like it either. But I don't know how they look, they like get it together. So if you see me, most of the time, it's just like,
and it makes me question I question the authenticity of what they're putting out there, these people, because I look at our lives and we don't have it all together, but we have it somewhat together, and we at any given moment throughout the day will lose it. on our boys, lose it, just, be frustrated or whatever.
Yeah.
And even something simple like, let's take a nice photo of what we're doing can sometimes turn into like a thing. So I can only imagine these
and we
people.
try to show it all. Like we try to show the
So I can only
good and the
imagine
bad.
these people on social media that like present this like beautiful photo or this beautiful reel or this beautiful moment. And I'm like, was it really? Because sometimes to set something like that up, especially with kids, is hard. It doesn't go ever smoothly.
This is why. This is why it's different for us. Or Simply Made Fancy is different. It's because we don't try to.
And it's as much as we do try when we do when we are intentional about a video that we're putting together.
Yeah.
We do try to, as best as possible, with the not limited talent, but just limited like time and being able to put effort towards.
We're still parents.
Let's set up,
jobs,
like setting up a shot and setting up. And like we can probably do a lot better planning ahead.
If it was like our full-time job, maybe, but yeah. And it's again about little things that you can do.
Right.
It's not like, you're not going to become overnight a baker extraordinaire and have a baking, business off of my videos, but
you
you might be able to learn to grab some information to do your own, things or whatever.
And I mean, that's how you got into baking. You got kind of inspired watching other people, and then you took a bake class that was like near your job at the time, and you kind of got that itch, and then you would bake little things here and there at home,
and
it just
self-taught,
and it just kept.
And a lot of the things in my life have been self-taught kind of thing. A lot of the things like crafting, like cooking. Like people ask me, like, "Oh, did you grow up cooking? Like, does your mom?" I didn't grow up in the kitchen. I really didn't. My parents just wanted me to go to school.
Yeah.
They didn't even care for me to be in the kitchen, and I love cooking.
Right.
And I love baking. And my mom wasn't a baker either, so that's something that I had to learn on my own and just kind of.
And it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it is nice to just not have to, like, just be able to, like, enjoy the moment and not have to put so much effort into it.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it's like, then you're always like, we should have done this, or we could have, with whatever project we're working on or whatever event we're doing, like if it's, like Super Bowl, like we don't even watch football, but Super Bowl comes around and we want to like do something nice for Super Bowl, even if it's just us.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like we always want to do something. And everything changed too, like when we had the boys, because it's like I wanted to create a space for my kids where they don't want to go anywhere. They just want to be home. And it's kind of backfired too on us, because sometimes we want to go out and do things.
And they're like,
we don't want to. We just want to be home.
Yeah. And that's tough for me, because being out of the house all day at work, and then I come home, like when we get to be home, like I want to really just enjoy being home. Like I have, even to this day, like I have this such amazing fond memory that I can always go back to of our first Christmas here, where things did not go according to plan. Like
I got COVID.
Our family, or even before that.
Before that,
our sister-in-law got COVID, so we couldn't go. And then it was kind of like a very chill Christmas day. But that Christmas break, because I remember I took that week off, like we just hung out in our pajamas and we watched Harry Potter movies. We showed the Harry Potter, the first couple of them, to the boys.
It was so much fun.
We watched a couple of Christmas movies. We literally just ate cookies and warmed up appetizers because we had so much food left over. And
it was good.
I loved that. Like I have such cozy memories forever of that because it was our first winter, our first Christmas here in this new house. And we got to just hang out. And it brought me back to like before we had kids, when we was just you and I in our little apartment. And we would just like have like a little, like a lazy weekend. And we wouldn't go out. Like,
yeah, I think our boys and you are very much more similar in that. Like, I love being home, but I have to be productive.
right.
And when I'm not productive, like I was just sharing this, when I'm not productive or I have a plan, I like flounder and if I don't have a purpose, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I end up just sitting in the couch watching TV and in my mind, my head, I'm having these conversations like I need to be doing something better. Like, what can I do? What project can I work on? Like, whatever. Like, that's me.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm not doing anything, I just feel, I don't feel contributing to the world or whatever.
But,
like, I don't know. I just,
yeah.
even if my plan is to relax, at least I know, okay, this is my plan to relax. And what am I doing to relax? Oh, I'm going to watch a movie, and it has to have meaning and purpose. Like, or I'm going to read a book that's going to help me grow and it has meaning and purpose. But just like doing nothing, like sometimes, like that gives me anxiety.
Yeah.
Like that week of that Christmas last year was great, but I was also sick. So I really didn't want to do too much to
right. Like you took
exhaust my body.
You didn't feel guilty about not doing anything because you were like, well, I'm also sick and I need to rest.
Yeah.
So let's
I wasn't badly sick,
right.
But I just didn't want it to get anywhere else. So I was just like, I think that's the only one time that I kind of like give myself time to just be, because I always believe that when you are sick, it's your body and God telling you you need to stop and slow down. And that's it. Yeah. And I rarely get sick. Yeah. Like in the years that you've known me and we've been married.
Yeah, no, just.
I think maybe I could remember the one time I got like the really bad sinuses, and it's because my allergies
Yeah, like you used to just have the allergy season.
And then I kind of like went on this like journey of finding more natural ways to deal with it because I didn't want to be a zombie during that thing. And like that was like maybe the one time that I could vividly remember I had to go to the doctor. I never go to the doctor, and I had to go to the doctor because I couldn't breathe, see anything because my sinuses were just destroyed. And that's been pretty much it. Like I don't really get sick, maybe like a headache or whatever. So when I get sick, I need to sit. Yeah. Anyway.
But to go back to that idea of always doing something when you're to be productive, the flip side of that for me is then like the dad guilt comes in because there'll be a day where like a Saturday where I'm doing a bunch of stuff, getting to do a lot of little projects that I've been wanting to do or clean up something that I need to clean up or whatever. This happens a lot more in the summertime when like I have to cut the grass and clean the pool and do like a lot of the
and then you
get
miss
it out of the
out
way, and then I miss out on the boys like just kind of home inside like whatever doing whatever, and or they'll come outside to play for a little bit, but then I'm like, so I that sometimes and it's happened more times than I would want.
And I think that's why also like we have just this window, and I always feel like, and this is why I need to make sure that I have a calendar and plan, because we have this window of, I love my summers. I love summer fun. I love not having to do projects and stuff like that. So whatever we want to do in the year, whether it's like house things or whatever, that's going to take time away from like our family time. I always try to like, okay, what can we do right in the beginning of the fall when the kids start going to school, and we could get that done when it's still warm enough that we are comfortable outside, inside, or whatever. And then what could we do before summer starts?
Right.
So those are like the windows of like our projects. Cause then winter we hibernate. Like we don't.
Yeah. It's just small projects, small things
inside, but we like hibernate for the most part. Like in project wise.
Yeah. So we've discussed a bunch of wide variety of stuff here. In this,
a lot of stuff,
in this super secret unaired pilot that we're recording right now.
But this is good because this is how the chat's gonna be.
Yeah.
All over the place. And
just a little. Well, yeah. Well, no. we'll have an agenda of certain points that we want to hit, and then But we're not gonna be tied to it.
So you're like the moderator,
right?
Because really, Simply Made Fancy is about
you
things that I do or whatever.
Right.
But you're Simply Made Fancy Dad. Maybe you should change your YouTube channel instead of the Maurice Mercado Simply Made Fancy Dad.
Simply Made Fancy Dad.
I don't know. It could be a thing. Yeah. Like you will. Your friends and the men out there will laugh. But it's fine.
Yeah. All right. So that's it for today. For now.
Oh, Simply Made Fancy Husband. That's nice.
Simply Made Fancy.
So then I'm like,
hubby. Dope.
You belong to me.
You're not in charge of sound effects. I'll do that later.
I could do all the sound effects. Okay.
All right. Do the cracking of the whip again.
What other sound effect you want me to say?
It sounds like a train that's like
breaking
down. Give me
another sound effect.
Old-timey
I'm really
steam
good.
Train.
It's like the Police Academy guy. I can do
you
it.
are not the Police Academy guy.
Yes, I am.
Okay,
there will probably be a lot of movie references.
Do a helicopter. No. What? No.
I can't do it because I'm laughing now. Wait. I can't stop. Okay. I am the Police Academy. What is his name?